Hi, and welcome to another bedtime story with Aunt Kitty. Tonight we're going to read The Veterans Day Visitor by Peter Catalanati and Pamela Shumbury. Pop Pop's house. Emily never jumped in leaves. They were dirty. They might be wet. Bugs crawled in them. At Emily's grandparents' house, there were piles and piles of leaves. Emily and her best friend Vinny were visiting after school on a sunny November day. Watch me, Vinny shouted. She ran and jumped into a mountain of leaves. Emily wrinkled her nose. Aren't they itchy? No, said Vinny, it's fun. Ick, said Emily. Vinny shook her head. You are so weird. She threw a bunch of leaves at Emily and Emily laughed. You know, girls, different people like different things. Emily and Vinny stopped. Emily's pop-pop was standing behind them. He leaned against his rake. For example, you, Vincetta. Vinny, interrupted Vinny. Pop-Pop started again. For example, you, Vinny, he pointed right at her. You like fancy hair clips, fancy shoes, and fancy pants. So does Emily, Vinny said. Exactly, said Pop-Pop, without the hair clips. So how is that different, Emily asked. Pop-Pop stroked his chin. No hair clips. Vinny's mouth was open. She raised one eyebrow and looked at Emily. Emily shrugged. The girls waited. You know, said Pop Pop, it's good that people are different. For example, next Monday is Veterans Day. Pop Pop loved to talk. Different people will celebrate in different ways. Some people will hang a flag. Some will go to a parade. Others will remember loved ones quietly at home. What's a veteran? Asked Emily. It's a doctor for dogs, said Vinny. That's a veterinarian, said Emily. Pop Pop was shocked. He put down his rake. You don't know? He pointed at both of them. You don't know about the people who helped keep our country free? Don't you? I can't believe it. Second grade? Suddenly, Pop Pop stopped talking. His knees buckled. The girls couldn't move. He bit his lip. He steadied himself. I need to lie down. Pop Pop went to the hammock and fell fast asleep. Sleepy stories. What happened to him? Asked Vinny. Well, nothing, said Emily. Let's jump in the leaves. Wait, cried Vinny. Is he dead? Emily blushed. No, he's asleep. Why? He has narcolepsy, Emily explained. It makes him fall asleep. Really? Anytime, anywhere? Yep. Weird. He was just talking to us and then Vinny closed her eyes. Shh. Yep, said Emily, asleep. How did he get narco-sleepy? Narcolepsy, said Emily. He was born with it. Can I catch it? No, you have it or you don't. Emily sat down in the grass. Does it ever happen when he's eating? Vinny asked. Sometimes, once we had to slide his plate of spaghetti away from him. Ew, gross, said Vinny. It's not so bad. In fact, sometimes Emily stopped. What? Nothing. Come on, tell me. I won't tell anyone, I promise. Vinny crossed her heart with her fingers. Then she spit in her hand and held it out for Emily to shake. Ew, squealed Emily. She pushed Vinny's hand back. All right, I'll tell you. Just don't ever do that again. Vinny wiped her hand on her pants. Emily took a deep breath. Sometimes he tells stories when he's asleep. Wow, said Vinny. Would he do it now? Let's go see, said Emily. The girls ran to the hammock. Pop, Pop, Emily whispered. Huh? Pop Pop said. He was still asleep. Pop Pop, what about your dog King? Asked Emily. Oh, the dog, Pop Pop said, on the magazine. The girls' eyes were wide. Emily nodded. That was the day he swam to Ice Cream Island for the bee's nest because he was known for honey. Emily smiled and poked Vinny. You know, Pop Pop said, ice cream made with honey is better than ice cream in a cone. Vinny laughed. Pop Pop woke up. What? Emily? Oh, he sat up. As I was saying, I'm coming to your school to tell your whole class about Veterans Day. Really, Pop Pop? That would be great. I think my teacher, Mr. Marvin, would like that. Maybe you'll tell another sleepy story, said Vinny. Emily looked at Vinny. Then she looked at Pop Pop. Maybe it wasn't such a great idea, she thought. What if? And this looks like Emily and Vinny's classroom. Mr. Marvin was excited. Our guest speaker, Mr. Moore, will be here in 30 minutes. I want the room to look nice. He clapped his hands. Melissa, set up the chairs. The rest of you, finish your snack and clean up. Vinny drank her chocolate milk and opened her journal. Hey, Emily, can I borrow a marker? Emily handed her a pretzel stick. Ah, pretzel, my favorite color. Huh? Asked Emily. Oh, sorry. Vinny reached over and took a green marker. What's wrong with you today? She asked. You're weirder than ever. Emily put her head on her desk. What if, when Pop Pop starts talking, he gets boring? Asked Vinny. No, not boring, said Emily. What if he gets sleepy? That would be cool, said Vinny. We'd hear another kooky story. That would not be cool, said Emily. Everyone will laugh. Oh, yeah, said Vinny. She pushed her journal aside and laid her head on her arms. The girls looked at each other. Maria sharpened her pencil. Robert blew his nose. Don't worry, said Vinny. I won't let him fall asleep. I'll ask him lots of questions. Emily raised an eyebrow. It's going to be okay. You'll see. Vinny patted Emily on the back. Now go ahead and finish eating your markers. The visit. Emily, said Mr. Marvin, would you please introduce our guest? Pop Pop sat in a big rocking chair. His whole face was smiling. Emily tried to smile back. She went to the front of the room and said quickly, This is my Pop Pop. He was a veteran. And she went back to her chair. There's Pop Pop in the classroom. Emily introducing him. Pop Pop looked at Emily. He was a little surprised. Okay, he rubbed his hands together. Today I'm here to tell you about veterans and Veterans Day. Emily told you I was a veteran. Actually, I am a veteran. I was a soldier. Soldiers become veterans. He nodded at the class. Are those medals for shooting people? Joey asked. Vinny said, Let him talk, Joey, and next time raise your hand. Now Mr. Marvin looks surprised. Pop Pop continued, "Well, Joey, I'm glad you asked. Not all veterans fought in wars. These medals are for tasks I've completed." "Like a Cub Scout," yelled Sam. Pop Pop pointed right at him. "Exactly." Pop Pop stood up. "Some soldiers do fight in battles. When I was in the Army, our country was not at war, but I'm still a veteran. Veterans are people who served in the armed forces, even if they didn't fight in battle." "My Aunt Josie used to fly helicopters in the Navy," said Emmanuel. "She's a veteran," Pop Pop nodded. And Nell said, "My father's friend died in a war." Pop Pop took off his hat and placed it over his heart. He spoke quietly. "He's a veteran, a fallen veteran. Veterans who have died have another special day, Memorial Day." Pop Pop's knees buckled. He steadied himself. Emily looked around the room. Everyone was staring at Pop Pop. She saw Pop Pop's eyes blink hard. Emily elbowed Vinny. Vinny waved her hand wildly and asked, "How did you get your buttons so shiny?" Pop Pop sat down in the big rocking chair but didn't answer. Emily jumped up. She quickly moved to the front of the room. "My Pop Pop taught me to respect fallen veterans with a moment of silence." She lowered her head like Pop Pop's. Mr. Marvin motioned for the class to do the same. Emily squeezed her Pop Pop's shoulder. "Was that long enough, Pop Pop?" "Huh?" he asked. "Emily?" He looked around the room. He looked at Emily. She was grinning. "Yes," he said, "that's long enough." "Good thinking, Emily." Thank you, Pop Pop. Chapter 5. The following week, Emily visited Pop Pop at his house. "Did Mr. Marvin give my special flag to your principal?" Pop Pop asked Emily. "Oh boy," Emily exclaimed. "Did he ever?" Emily sat next to Pop Pop. She showed him her school's newsletter. "Look, here's your name. Here's a picture of your special flag. Pop Pop, you're famous." Pop Pop smiled. He was pleased. "Well, I did feel like a movie star when I got so many letters from your class this week." He chuckled warmly. "Did you have a favorite letter?" Emily teased. Pop Pop smiled and ruffled his granddaughter's hair. "What do you think?" "Dear Mr. Moore, thank you for visiting our class. I liked when you told us about veterans. I learned that all veterans don't always fight in wars. I'm glad you didn't fight in a war, so you could come to our class. I liked at the end when you said it was, 'If you love your freedom, thank a veteran.' Next Veterans Day, I will, even if I have to wake him up first. I love you, Pop Pop. Emily." The end. So on this Veterans Day, I'm sure that you have veterans in your family. Call them up and thank them for their service. We hope you enjoyed another story with Aunt Kitty. Good night. Sleep tight.